Well, here we go. This is a really special episode of the Better You Leadership Podcast. I, it started this, launched the first or published the first episode of Better You Leadership Podcast in January of 2021. So this evening, we are going to share with you the top 10 Better You Leadership Podcast episodes. This is episode 60. How cool is that? So, the Better You Leadership Podcast is an ongoing journey to become better leaders. That's what we're doing, becoming more trusted and credible and effective leaders. So, ultimately, when women put some of the tips, techniques, and tactics in place, well, guess what? You're going to build your skills and your leadership capacity. This podcast teaches women the nuances of personal development. That the intent really is for you to earn more respect and more revenue. And so every Tuesday at noon, how cool is that? Every Tuesday at noon, showing up here to sharing some insights, some things that's going to help women leaders progress, win, move forward, right? That's what we're doing. And so let's get started with the first of the 10 most listened to episodes. Number one is episode 01. Three mindset shifts. Three mindset shifts. And so what I talked about there was, you start out with gratitude, then you follow that quickly by, I created, actually I curated, not created, a non-scientific exercise. The bottom line was it was to help you determine what you should stop doing, what you should what you should start doing, and what you should keep doing. And then we ended with whatever your goal is, right? Whatever your goal might be. But first of all, you need to know what you're going to, what you're going to do. How are you going to show up? And always, 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 we're starting and moving through whatever we're doing it with gratitude leading the way, right? So you can go to angelaodom.com/free resources, right? Free and then dash resources to get, something for you. The number two, the second is actually episode number two, and the title is Check on Your Circle. You think about that, the people around you, surrounding you. I just encourage you to check on your circles. You want to just ask the question: are you surrounded by people who affirm you and hold you accountable? If not, widen the circle, right? Search for a different community. You can just do it. It might be a little painful to not be in a relationship with the same people you're in a relationship with all the time, but you have to be at peace, right? And if you don't have a supportive, accountable community, then go and build you one, right? Brick by brick, step by step, conversation by conversation, trusted person by trusted person, right? And so, in this episode of the Better You Leadership Podcast, I'm just leading you through a non-scientific exercise. The bottom line is check on your circle and be with people who affirm you and hold you accountable at the same time. So the result of this is for you, you'll have a higher level of awareness. Really, you want to know how you influence others and how they influence you, and the people that you interact with. You want to be around people who, um, once you leave them, then they are speaking positively about you, right? And they want you to win. So that's episode one and episode two. And we're talking about the top 10 most um, listened to episodes of the Better You Leadership Podcast. And so number three is episode number 4, Lead by Example. And you really do want more committed and invested team members, right? So you have to walk it like you talk. In other words, lead by example. The fact, the fact that you may have a well-deserved and you have a well-earned title does not equate to effective results or some kind of extraordinary level of commitment or investment from your team members, right? Just because you have a title doesn't mean that everybody else is invested in what you're doing. So, episode 4, titled Lead by Example of the Better You Leadership podcast, um, I'm just going to share some examples, some insights with you. That's what I did in there. So, you can go to angelaodom.com /2021/04 and get more information, get some feedback on this if you want, right? And then number 4 was episode 5, and we're talking about the top 10. So episode number 5, which you can get more of this, listen to it. Of course, any place you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts. You go to Better You Leadership Podcast, Better You Leadership, Better You Leadership, Better You Leadership, or you put in Angela M. Odom on Amazon, and then all the things that come up, the books and everything else, right? But number 5 is the title. This is about Amanda Gorman. She is just so inspirational, right? And she's charismatic. She was the inaugural, I guess. She was a poet, Poet, poet. Um, this January 2021, she was captivating, right? So she inspires you to be ready, right? She inspires you to be ready. Although most of us are just recently discovered her after this amazing year, she was already doing the work. And so the point of this episode is, you as a leader, as a woman leader, are you ready to be discovered when you're already doing the work? What a great question. You're already doing the work, but guess what? You might become people will become aware of your contributions, how you interact with them, how you benefit them, what you're doing, your hard work. So it was really just all inspiring. It was amazing watching President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris take their oath of, and then, being surrounded by their families. That was pretty amazing. I loved it. It was great to watch former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama arrive in their beautiful attire, right? And the performances with J Lo and Lady Gaga and Garth Brooks, that was great. But all eyes were actually on poet Amanda Gorman during the inauguration, January 20th, 2021. And this was her reciting her poem, The Hill We Climb. Oh, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was just wonderful. And so, episode 05 of the Better You Leadership podcast. And you can go to angelaodom.com /2021 / 05, right? 05. And so that's angelaodom.com /2021 / 05. So you can listen and get more insight onto episode 05. So next one is episode number 10. The title is Overcommitted is Not a Good Look for Women Leaders. So, overcommitting happens to the best of us. I mean, let's just be clear. So in this episode of the Better You Leadership podcast, you become more aware of intentionally accepting tasks so that you make appropriate and relevant choices. I just want you to be aware of when you're saying yes, no, maybe. and basically giving of your time, your resources, your energy. And so in episode 10, this is really helpful. You can just practice saying no because no is a complete sentence. And then sometimes you want to say yes and, a full body yes when you are accepting uh, accepting someone's request for your time, energy, and efforts, right? So episode 10 is really good for you and me. Episode 11, spend your government stimulus check intentionally. I put this together and just to help you decide how you were going to allocate your government stimulus check. Be intentional about it, right? That was the intent. And so I provided 6 steps to take before you spend your government stimulus money. And that's episode 11. And actually, that was the most listened to episode 11. And you should go and listen to that. So you just go to any place you listen to podcasts and go to the Better You Leadership. Put that in, or either put my name in, Angela M. Odom. Next is episode 28. Start the darn meeting on time. Am I the only one bothered by the phrase, we'll start the meeting when a few more people join? You set a time, you have an agenda, let's go. Catch them up. Because I'm not just going to, what am I supposed to do? Sit here and twiddle my twiddle twiddle my thumbs while everybody else is joining? No, let's start on time. And that builds trust and credibility. All those things you should have anyway. But one of the things you teach people is to be late, because what? Don't worry about it. She's going to wait anyway. She's not going to start on time. She's not prepared. Then you want to know why you're not trusted, why you don't have credibility. So in this episode, I really just rant about a recent virtual meeting I attended. But the whole point is start the meeting on time, right? Meetings are very important. Take up a lot of your time, energy, and efforts. So start the meeting on time, right? Make sure you have an agenda and then follow through. And then send the notes afterwards and keep it moving. Don't waste people's time with that. The next one is episode 35. The title is Things to Consider When Delivering Bad News. And if you just keep living and keep leading, then you will eventually have to share or convey bad news, right? At some point, you will have to do that. So in this episode 35 of the Better You Leadership Podcast, I'll just share a few things to consider when you're delivering bad news. You really want to be, you have, what is that? Empathy. You want to have empathy because you really don't know what other people are going through. And you want to be respectful as you are delivering some sort of bad news, right? And so we go into that. So you go to Better You Leadership Podcast, or you put my name in, Angela M. Odom, and any place you listen to podcasts, Spotify or Apple iTunes, Google, or any of these places. Just make sure you listen to the Better You Leadership Podcast, right? And then episode 48, 10 productivity tips successful women use to create less busy routines. And so this is a really good one, and there's some resources there for you also. And then episode 58 is reduce the say-do gap. What you say versus what you do. And you want to make sure that you reduce that gap, which leads to more credibility and trust for you. And so let's just share, during this episode, I share how to reduce the say-do gap. It's all about credibility, following through on what you say you're going to do. And this is very helpful for leaders. It's very helpful for everybody, actually, right? To reduce that say-do gap. And so those are the 10 the 10 episodes that were watched and listened to the most of the Better You Leadership podcast. And I will tell you that I am so excited to be on this journey with you. Um, and so I will invite you to join us on February 26th of 2022 for the next round of the Women's three-hour leadership intensive. It's 3 hours. It's a leadership intensive. It's virtual. Starts for 10 a.m. And ends at 1 p.m. It's on Zoom, and it's a Saturday, February 26th, 2022. And so we're just under 2 months, right? Just under 2 months for that, and you can go ahead and um, register to participate. And really, it's time to focus on you so you can lead them, right? For you lead all these people, so you can go to the Better You Project, right? I'm the founder of the Better You Project and the host of the Better You Leadership podcast. And so you go to www, if you put that in, you put thebetteryouproject.com/women dash leadership dash intensive, and um, go ahead and register for that. And it's a paid event. Um, and then sometimes people's like, you know what, I want to work one-on-one with you. So if you're ready to become a more trusted and effective leader, schedule a virtual fit session with me. And fit mean to determine whether you and I are a good fit to work together. Have a one-on-one private program, a coaching program that's actually titled Become a Better Leader in 100 Days. And that might be beneficial for you. And so we'll get on a Zoom call, it's virtual, right? And work through what's your number one, two, and three goals are, as far as personal and professional development, where you want to go, and determine, how I may help you get there, and also determine, again, if I am a good fit to work with you, right? And we both um, we'll talk through that. And then, of course, I'll share the aspects of the program, how it works. So you go to angelaodom.com/leadership capacity. That's leadership capacity all together, right? And schedule a time for us to talk so we can get you um, all set up to earn more respect and earn more revenue. So the Better You Leadership podcast, hosted by me. I'm a proven leader. I teach women the nuances of personal development so that you might earn more respect and revenue. And also, I need you to know that I'm rooting for you, right? I'm rooting for you. And so, again, you can listen to the Better You Leadership podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and also Amazon Music. And basically anywhere you listen to podcasts, just go ahead and make sure you um, listen, give a rating of 5, rate the podcast, and also make sure that once you listen, give it a good review, positive review. If you have something crazy to say, then don't do it. Don't do it. So I wanted to just share with you the top 10 most listened to episodes of the Better You Leadership podcast in 2021. And I wish you more. I wish you more happiness, wholeness, more of the things that you desire, all of those things. So for the women who are looking for um, to be more trusted, to feel like you actually fit into your workspace, then listen to the Better You Leadership, and we will help you with that. Again, my name is Angela Odom, and I'm rooting for you. All right, you all take care, and I look forward to working with you real soon. Go ahead and listen to the episode, and I'll talk to you soon.